Welcome to Word to Ownership. My name is Wes. Today we're going to continue with this segment. We call this segment the call to ownership. You know, we feel that too many people spend their entire life working, paying rent, rather than owning a house where they could build some equity and leave something behind for their children and for their grandchildren. That's the reason why we plan to go from state to state, from city to city, from county to county, promoting, educating, and motivating people that have been renting for years to turn their heads towards home ownership. Today we're going to the state of Mississippi. But before we go to Mississippi, I want to ask you for a quick favor. I understand that this message here is very simple. Once you hear it, you understand it. But I'm asking you to please subscribe to this channel, because more people that subscribe, more people will be able to see it. It will be more exposed by the YouTube algorithm. That way the people who need to hear this message will be able to hear it. Thank you. Now, the state of Mississippi is the 35th most populous state in the country, with population approaching 3 million people. The average price of a house in Mississippi is $140 currently, compared to $379, which is the national average. So home in Mississippi doesn't seem to be as expensive as most of the country. The homeownership rate in Mississippi is 68.2 compared to 65.6%, which is the national average. For Blacks and African Americans, the homeownership rate in Mississippi is 54%. The cost of living index in Mississippi is 83.3 compared to the national index, which is 100. So the cost of living in Mississippi is less than most of the country. Okay, so we're not wasting any time today, huh? Mississippi. If you live in the state of Mississippi and you've been renting for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, today this message is for you. What's happening? Home ownership, home price in Mississippi is not that expensive. What's going on? Why are you still renting? Home ownership is the single most important level of wealth for the working class. If you are a member of the working class, what's going on? How come you don't have a home already? Are you working towards home ownership? I don't want you to sleep on this idea of ownership. I am here today because I don't want you to sleep on this idea of owning a house. If you've been sleeping for the past 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, I am here today to wake you up. Wake up. Tenants in Mississippi, it's time for you to change your mind, to shift from rentalship towards ownership. My purpose here is to work with you. So today, you can plant the seed of ownership in your family. Too many people work for 20, 30, 40 years paying rent. Too many people. In this land, more than 80% of the population should own their own house. Okay? The reason it's not so is because of lack of discipline, lack of education, and misinformation. I am asking you today to plant the seed of ownership in your family. We don't want to see another generation in your family renting. We don't want to see another generation. That's why you will plant that seed today. So you can become a homeowner, or your children will be a homeowner. The message here is very simple. Okay, there's many things you can do to build wealth. I'm just telling you need to stop with home ownership because it is the base. It is the base. You cannot fight a war without having a base. Work on the base. I'm asking you today, tell your family, tell your friends, today, you will shift your mind towards ownership. Enough with paying rent. For 5 years you've been paying rent. For 10 years you've been paying. For 15 years you've been paying that rent. You're not building anything. Today is the day. Too many people spend their entire working years paying that rent. It's time for you to put some discipline in place to save some money, okay? To keep your job, to build some credit, and become a homeowner, and put the path of the next generations after you in a different way, in a different direction. This was the message for the state of Mississippi. Thank you.